What the actual... job? Hello, I'm your host, Maya Fraser, and welcome back to What the Actual Job, where I interview individuals about their careers so that high school students can get a better understanding of the jobs they'd like to pursue in the future. This week, I had the pleasure of talking to Naomi Lim, a pharmacy technician from the Ottawa hospital. So, as a pharmacy technician, what does a normal or typical day look like for you? Like, what do you normally do in terms of like roles and tasks?
There's so many different roles and things we do, but basically you just go in, you do your work for the day, and then you leave. But it also depends on what role you do. So we have IVs, we have distribution, which is like the pills and stuff.
Okay.
We have med recs. It depends what you do. But you have a set job tasks you have for the day. So once you do that, that's your job.
So it's like one task for a day and you just do that like the whole day?
Yeah, for example, if you work in IVs, the whole point is to make all the IV infusions for those patients, for every patient in the hospital.
Oh, okay.
That will last until the next day.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And what is your favorite thing about your job and what makes you want to come to work every day?
So my favorite thing about my job, I genuinely just like the work that I do.
Yeah.
I'm very kind of organizational clean freak, so I tend to clean up the pharmacy a lot. And just like the work I do is not bad at all. And then of course everything is for like patient care. Like you have to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no choice. Come in, because you're a very important role in making sure patients in the hospital get medications. So in order to make them feel better in the hospital, you're providing that care for them. Mm-hmm. That's why I come to work.
And then what would you say is the hardest part about being a pharmacy technician?
I find the hardest part is the amount of change that happens in pharmacy. It's evolved so much just in the past decade. You have to be able to adapt and be okay with a lot of changes. Because even now, there's so many big changes happening and it doesn't stop. So you might be doing one thing a certain way one day, and the next day we're doing it completely different.
Okay.
There's new regulations.
So like changes in terms of like policies and regulations of how you do things?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like for example, back then, IVs were made like just in a regular room. And now everything's so sterile. We have lots of standards and very picky.
I see.
But you just have to be okay to adapt to it because the world's always changing.
How often would you say like you get new changes?
Every day.
Every day?
every day. Well, generally every day, but I would say big changes every month at least.
Oh, okay.
There's something new happening. There's maybe a new drug.
Oh.
We don't have this drug anymore. It's got to change to a different drug. We're packaging this differently. Oh, this manufacturer has the drug stored this way, and we change manufacturers. It's ongoing. We always have weekly newsletters on like what has changed.
Okay. So what is the most valuable or significant thing you've learned from your career so far?
The most biggest thing I've learned is how to be patient and empathetic. When I work in a hospital, it's pretty tough because you're around sick people all the time. In pharmacy, we do have positions where you're up on the floor, so you are interacting with patients. So it's really tough seeing them in certain situations, and you have to remember to be kind to people because some patients you see and you don't realize like what's great about it. You're like, oh my gosh, I would never think this would happen to you. But so you just gotta enjoy every day, and it really makes you appreciate your health. Yeah. And just hang out with family and friends and just enjoy your life because you just never know when something's gonna happen.
For sure.
Seeing the other side of it makes you really appreciate what you have.
That's really nice. I like that. So what education did you do to become a pharmacy technician?
So there's an option to stay in Ottawa. It's very easy, but I had to leave. So I decided to go to Toronto for 2 years. I went to Humber College. And there's so many different pharmacy technician programs that do the standard like 2-year program. Where it's kind of like a regular school year. science program. So in Ottawa, there's the Algonquin Careers Academy, and it's more like a privatized school, and you could finish the program in a year or like less than a year, but there's like no breaks.
Okay.
But I think they give an option if you want like the summer off. But there is we've hired a lot of people from schools just in Ottawa, and I'm the one of the rare ones that came from a different city.
Interesting. Is your career what you thought it would be when you first started, and are there any expectations that turned out different from reality?
When I first started, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but then I was hearing that this job, was very hands-on. You get paid pretty good money for what you do. So I came in and I was like, okay, yeah, it's very hands-on. It's still mentally draining, but like, I like it. Something I never expected was just the amount of different roles that you can play in the hospital.
Yeah.
Retail is different. You're kind of stuck in the pharmacy, but at the hospital, you're everywhere. You could be in so many different areas of the place, and I just didn't even know these jobs existed.
Yeah.
And because of the evolution and evolving pharmacy life, there's so many more job opportunities that have been created recently. We've lost a lot of staff because of these new exciting opportunities where, there's a lot of computer support side of things. People who could start like working from home. Surprisingly, I never thought that would be like an option to do, or just like hybrid work. But yeah, there's so many different pharmacies that you can work for that do different things. But yeah, I never thought the opportunities that are now happening would even exist.
Out of like these rules that you're mentioning, out of the ones that you might have been able to do or experience, what has been your favorite one?
I love doing medication reconciliation.
Yeah.
So if you ever go to the hospital and someone comes and asks you what medications you're taking at home, that's what we do. So that's one of the jobs that I enjoy doing because I get to go out and see patients and talk to them, and and then I can, the last half of my day, I'm just on the computer just entering all of the drugs that they're on. But everyone is different. Some people don't like to talk to patients or like the interaction, and there's just so many jobs that you don't have to interact with patients if you don't want to.
How do you, as a pharmacy technician, make a memorable impact?
It's basically, again, it's just going above and beyond for patient care. I have worked in different pharmacies where I've done different things, and some pharmacies I am interacting more with patients, and when they see you and they realize that you're the ones making their medication, delivering their medication, making sure that for example, the patient's getting their chemo on time. I've gone and I've ran and I've scoured for their chemo, to make sure that the patient gets it on time, and they recognize you, and even in the hospital, patients who, I talk to them and their spouses, I'll see their spouses around the hospital and they remember me, because we're really going over what they're taking, and we're really putting in that care.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure everything on their file is right. We want to make sure what they're getting is right. And yeah, they realize how much you're taking care of them. So
that's lovely.
They do recognize you, so you want to make sure you're nice to everyone.
That's great. That's good. That's a good lesson. And in your opinion, what makes an excellent pharmacy technician, and what advice would you give to someone who is wanting to become a pharmacy technician?
Advice, I think people should know that they need to be a hard worker. It's so easy to become lazy, get used to doing the same thing over and over again, but there's just so much in pharmacy that when you work hard, it really pays off, and it really helps the team out, because you need a team that works hard, pays attention, and you really have to make sure that everything you do is correct. Because again, like, we're working with drugs, and patients can die if, just seeing a wrong number could really, double, triple, like, a dose someone's getting. Particular, be specific, but also, be respectful for your peers, because you're working with the same people every day. Granted, it's a big pharmacy, but again, you're with the same people, so you want to know that everyone who's working with you is important, and you want to treat them with kindness and respectfulness. And yeah, you have to be someone who also is willing to own up to their mistakes, because we're not going to fire you. You do one mistake.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone's okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then we have a few questions from some students at school. So what is the difference between a pharmacy technician, pharmacist, and pharmacy assistant, and what roles are different between them?
So pharmacists, in terms of pay, pharmacists, pharmacy techs, and then pharmacy assistants. Pharmacists more so do clinical work, so they are the ones who help the doctors decide what medication the patient should be on.
Okay.
They're the ones kind of prescribing, they're the ones recommending, they know what each drug does. They know interaction. They know a lot of details about the drugs, and is more mental, I would say. Mm-hmm. They're kind of like, if you had to compare, a pharmacist is like a doctor, and pharmacy techs are like the nurses.
Okay.
So pharmacy techs do all the hands-on work. We make the drugs, we make sure we get it out there. We do, if you need to do billing, just all the hands-on work. That's what pharmacy techs do. Pharmacy techs can do everything. They could prep something, they could check it, they can do the whole process. Pharmacy assistants is what pharmacy technicians used to be back in the day before regulations came in. So a pharmacy technician never existed really before.
Interesting.
Like everyone was known as pharmacy technician.
Yeah.
But now we have to be regulated just like nurses do. So you do have to pay a fee every year to stay regulated. And you do have to write exams after school in order to become regulated. And pharmacy assistants, they can prepare things, but they can't final check it. They can't be the final person signing off on it, because they have to be regulated. Pharmacy assistants don't need assurance. They don't need to be regulated. Pharmacy technicians are. So if anything were to happen, if, for example, pharmacy technicians and assistants, they can't recommend anything.
Okay.
If you go to a drugstore, you have to get the pharmacist to recommend a product for you. If a pharmacy technician recommends something and something happens to that person because they follow their recommendation, they can sue you. Something can happen. So that's why technicians have to be insured.
Okay. We
have our own insurance, liability insurance, and pharmacy assistants don't, because, they don't have a license. They aren't regulated. They don't need insurance. We do have a license, and we need to have the insurance in case something were to happen. But again, we have the education. We've gone through the exams to be able to sign things off. Pharmacy assistants can do the bare minimum. Yeah. But they can't do too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Thank you. I think you might have answered a bit of this, but is it a really hectic schedule, or is it more easy and laid back work?
Yeah, it depends what you
Okay.
Depends what role you play. Some days I find it's always hectic. There's always a lot of work to do. We're very desperate need right now for technicians. Like if you want to be a pharmacy technician, you have a job.
That's perfect.
Will be forever secured. But yeah, because there's just so much work and not enough staff, it is pretty hectic. But again, there's some jobs where you're just labeling something all day, or a job where you're just pre-packing tablets, which is pretty laid back. You don't have a time limit to do things. You just have your job to do what you can in that day.
Do you prefer the more hectic days or the more laid back ones?
I like the more laid back.
Yeah.
Laid back is better, but I think just the person I am, it ends up being a hectic day.
Yeah.
I always want to make sure everything's done. Mm-hmm. Because I am one of the backup team leads, so I kind of have to help overlook everything. So it's always hectic, but it's not bad. It's fun. And, you get to work with a lot of great people.
That's amazing. What programs and courses and education do you suggest for someone who's wanting to work as a pharmacy tech in the future?
Basically, I would have to say you'd have to look up the requirements. I know each school is different. Mm-hmm. I know some schools, they require you get a certain grade in math.
Oh, okay.
I think, I'm not sure about science. It's been so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, just look up what school you want to go to, or like what schools offer the pharmacy technician program, and then the requirements that they need to get into it. Again, if you're in Ottawa, you want to stay in Ottawa, I highly recommend the Algonquin Careers Academy. It's not really, it's not like your normal college experience, but it will get you a job quick within a year. Probably the fastest than all the other colleges. If you really want that college experience, you know, there's so many places that offer 2-year programs, and they're more laid back. Like I know the 1-year program is really intense. It's, you know, every day. I talked to someone recently who graduated, and she said that the class was maybe 4 hours a day, so you can like still have a job while going. But it's like intense. Like you have exams and tests all the time. Yeah, I don't know. I love going to Humber. Yeah. But yeah, there's so many different places that offer it.
Great. Well, this has been really good. Do you have any like last comments or anything to say?
If you want to start a station, go for it. It's a really great job for what you do, and you will always have a job. Always. Even if you decide that you want to do something else, maybe a career change, we're shift work. So if you want to just work twice a week, that's a possibility still in pharmacy. If you decide that, you're bored of working in this place for so long, there's actually just so many different areas to work in, different campuses. You know, the Ottawa Hospital is huge. If you get bored at the Civic, you can always work at the General, you can work at the Riverside, you can work at the Queensway. So it's not boring. But if you do like the more regular, you know, I want to do the same thing every day, that is also a possibility. So there's just a lot in pharmacy that you wouldn't even think of.
Thank you so much. This has been great. I'm your host, Maya, and this is What the Actual Job. Thank you again to Naomi Lim for having this fantastic interview with me about a career as a pharmacy technician. If you want to listen to this episode or others like it, you can listen here on CKCU 93.1 FM or wherever you listen to podcasts.